XAMPP is a very useful suite of software that allows us to actually turn our own computer, our memory stick on a computer, into a server of our own. Now, so far, you've been working with HTML web pages, which are basically client-side web pages. But we're going to be moving on to working with .php web pages, and these will only work on a server side, so you can't just open them up in Notepad++ and then run them in the browser. You have to run them in the context of a server. Okay, so far, if we wanted to test our web pages on the server, we had to basically zip the website up into your MySQL 0x account, your server space, using net2ftp, and that's a bit cumbersome for just doing like a basic test. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a server on our own memory stick or PC called Apache, okay, which is the A in XAMPP. And basically, as long as we have XAMPP switched on, the server switched on, we can then basically test our .php pages. And we're also going to get those to link to our SQL database. So we've got the M here, okay, which stands for MySQL, which is the interface between the SQL programming language and the actual user, okay, i.e. you. Okay, so this will work, XAMPP will work not just with Windows machines, but also with Linux machines and also with Apple machines, okay? So it is, if you like, kind of agnostic on the operating system. Okay, so that's what the X stands for. Okay, so we could have WAMP, for W for Windows, we could have LAMP, L for Linux, or we could have Apple as well. Okay, so the X means we can run XAMPP basically in any of these environments, provided we get the correct version of XAMPP downloaded to start off with. Okay, the P stand for, the two P's stand for two server-side languages, programming languages. One is called PHP and one is called Perl, P-E-R-L. So we're not going to use Perl, so we're going to concentrate on PHP here. Okay, so XAMPP if you like. Okay, so what's involved in installing it? It does take a little while, okay? The process is fairly straightforward. It is a large package, so it does take a while. So let's get that process underway. So all we need to do is new tab and just look for download XAMPP. Okay, like that. And you should be looking for the link apachefriends.org. Okay, so it's going to be the first one really, essentially. Okay, so you look for the one that's relevant for your operating system. Okay, so probably going to be either Apple there, OS X, or Windows. Okay, so in my case I've got a Windows laptop, so I am going to download it here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one here, PHP 8.2, version 8.2. Okay, just seems to be the most recent. MD5 and SHA-1, these are some sort of encryption, some sort of hashing that's going on there. So we'll have a look at those later on when we come to hash passwords. So I'm going to download this. Okay, you can see it's quite large. Okay, so that's going to start shortly, I hope. Okay, it doesn't seem to start, so let's click here and see what happens. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to download the latest version here, XAMPP Windows 64-bit. Okay, there's version 8.2.0. So click on that. and there it is there. Okay, so it takes quite a while. Okay, that took a little time, so here we go. We have it downloaded now. So just whenever this blue circle alright, let's try it now, see what happens. Okay, I just got a dialog box coming up there from user account control saying, do you want to allow this app to make changes on your device, to your device? So you take yes on that, and then it brings up this message here, user account control, some functions of XAMPP are possibly restricted. Please avoid to install XAMPP to C program files. Okay, so do not put them in C program files. Normally what we do with XAMPP, if you're going to install it onto your laptop or PC, you would put it right at the root, so just straight into the C drive. You'd end up with an XAMPP folder there. Okay, I am going to install it into my memory stick. If you probably don't need to do that if you're going to be bringing your laptop into class or having it during class. But for me, it makes sense because I would sort of have my memory stick going from computer to computer. So you'll normally be just putting it straight into the C drive. It will work faster. XAMPP will work faster when run from a hard drive rather than a memory stick. But it's kind of negligible, the speed difference as well. Okay, so here is the setup wizard. So let's go through it here. So it's basically it's avoiding user account control by going straight into the root of the drive here. So I am going to change that on my machine. Okay, and just to show you my drive at the moment, here's my G drive here, and you can see there isn't an XAMPP folder in it. Okay, we go for English, and here we go. There's the folder just created there. Okay, and this is another one of those parts that takes a fair amount of time to do. Okay, eventually XAMPP will install. It can take a long time, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour perhaps. It just depends on your own laptop and if you're installing it into a memory stick or onto the hard drive itself. Okay, so towards the end of it then you start to get some dialog messages from Windows Defender. Okay, so this app has already been blocked. Okay, that means I have it on my machine already. But I am going to allow Apache to communicate on private networks, so we'll allow access for that. And you may get the command window coming up here like this. So just don't do anything on that. Just please wait. Okay, if you notice now what's happening is that the uninstaller is being created, and in the process of the download and install, you may notice down in the toolbar that kind of the command box or various other messages appear and disappear as basically the machine is talking to itself in the installation process. Okay, eventually you have the setup completed and this message comes up here. Do you want to start the control panel now? I'm going to take no on that, okay, because I want to show you how to run the control panel from scratch in the software. So let's unclick that and let's finish here. Okay, now let's go and find where XAMPP is. It's on my memory stick. I probably have a version on the C drive. I do there. So if you've gone for the C drive, it'll be in there. Okay, so here's XAMPP. So you double click to go into the XAMPP folder, and then you are looking for XAMPP Control.exe. Okay, so you just double click on that. And we should get a dialog box coming up. So the dialog box may come up straight away, or you might just see the little toolbar down here. Okay, so here's the control panel here. Excuse me. So what we want to do is we want to run the web server. Okay, so we are going to start the Apache web server. Okay, like that. And essentially what Apache is going to do is it's going to reserve some spaces in memory for connecting to the server. Okay, so we need these various ports, 80 and 443. And if we wanted to also, which we will be doing, if we want to create databases, we need MySQL tools. So I'm just going to click on that as well. Okay, so we're now working. We've got the server activated and we've got MySQL activated. Okay, so you can see that Apache and MySQL, they both have kind of light green background. And because we took user account control, because we took its advice not to install into the C program files folder, everything seems gone okay. We're not getting any error messages in here. Okay, so the question now is, how do I actually get into the server on my memory stick or wherever I have the XAMPP folder? And the answer is inside XAMPP we have a folder called htdocs. Okay, so inside htdocs is where you're going to put your websites. So I'm going to do one here for you. Okay, so on my G drive I've got a folder called First XAMPP Website. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into XAMPP. I'm going to put that into htdocs, and just in here I'm going to paste that here. Okay, there's only one file in it, so it should be fairly straightforward. Okay, so you can see it's a .php page. Okay, so if I go into this in Notepad++, let me just drag that over here. Okay, so very simple web page, although we've got some strange looking code here. Okay, this just means I'm writing some PHP code in the middle of HTML. Okay, echo means to write to the screen, so I want to write this text here into the screen, and I want to do it inside the H1. Now, if I run this straight away, and when I'm running it straight from Notepad++, I'm running it from the client side. Okay, so if I view current file in Chrome, that's what I see there. Okay, why? Because I'm not running it from a server. Okay, so it's .php here. Okay, if I want to run it from the server side, okay, I just copy everything up to and including htdocs, and I just type localhost. Okay, and there we go. You can see the H1 there picking up the yellow style there. Okay, just before we finish, how do I switch off? And you should always switch off in the right order. Click on the two stops and then click on quit. Okay, and that's it. So best of luck with that.